the mic.
Get on the mic.
Just get on the mic. Get on the mic, Mike.
Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to Get on the Mic. That's where you put me in front of a microphone with a few notes and I talk about some of the more interesting things that have happened throughout the world of entertainment this week or whatever else I feel like talking about. And wouldn't you know it, I record last week and the big news drops after I'm done. The big news of James Gunn being dropped by Disney because of some 10-year-old tweets that he apparently had already apologized for. I've decided that as of right now, I'm not going to be commenting a lot on that. I was going to cover the story, but there's just so much to cover, so many things to go through and so many thoughts that I have on the subject. And I don't know how I feel about everything. There's, Roseanne's commenting on it, saying, how dare you bring him back if I'm dropped? And, there's the thing with Ryan Johnson going through all his tweets, and there's the cast of Guardians coming to his side, and all of that. There's just so much to go through, and honestly I'm not even sure how I feel about all of it. What's really bothering me, I know I just said I wasn't going to talk about it, but what's really bothering me about the situation is that, look, I don't condone what he tweeted. But again, it was 10 years ago and people change. And I just think we're getting to this point where we're not going to be able to do anything. We're not going to be able to say anything. Maybe I should just stop recording this podcast right now, because by God, I might offend somebody by something I've said. Well, I don't really like what he tweeted, the same way I didn't like what Roseanne tweeted. It's none of my damn business if they want to say stupid shit or not. I guess is the way I'm just gonna say it. I don't. That's why I don't know how I feel about it. Because Chris Hardwick got rehired back on the Walking Dead talk show or whatever. And people are up in arms about that, and I don't really know the details of what was behind his story. But I mean, there's such, I think Disney is just trying to stick to their guns. Granted, James Gunn was making comments about Trump, and then Trump supporters went back and found his old tweets, and Disney kind of had to fire him because, they fired Roseanne, ABC owned by Disney. They had to fire Roseanne for saying something stupid. Well, we got to fire him too. We can't have a double standard, I guess. I don't know. At least they're being consistent. But yeah, I really don't know how I feel about all of it. I just don't really know how I feel, and that's why I was going to talk about what all the cast members were saying and all that, and I can't. I'm not sure what I want to comment. I don't even know if I even want to talk about it. I've done a lot of research on it. It kept me from getting other things done for this show that I wanted to do. It was going to take over the show, and I don't want this show to be that. So as of right now, I just don't know how I feel about it. I'm always in the mindset, depending on what it is, when it's words, words are words, actions are actions. If someone says something stupid, which, let's be honest, we all have. We've all said offensive things. We've all said stupid stuff, and if you haven't, you're a liar. And so we've all said stupid stuff. So it's going to get to a point where we should all be fired. We should all be held silent. I've always said, and I know other people have said this too. Social media is going to be the downfall of mankind. People just trying to be witty or trying to be clever. And then they make, some comedians will make excuses. Well, we're just trying to be funny. That's kind of, first Roseanne was saying she didn't know the lady was African American. I don't know. Apparently Roseanne was pilled up and drinking and everything else. So Lord knows what's behind that. I don't know how to feel about any of this anymore. I know the world's always kind of sucked, but it's getting to this point where everyone's going to be offended by something. And if you've said something that even one person's offended by, they want your head on a damn platter. And whatever happened to freedom of speech? I mean, is the stuff that they said stupid? Yes. Do they have the right to say it? Yes. You know, you've got people out there, we'll just say you got YouTubers out there that say the N-word all the time, and they still have jobs. And that's offensive. I don't like that word. And you know, I'm of the argument that no one should use it, whether it's ER or A. I know that's not popular, but I don't think anyone should be using it because of the negative context of where it came from. This whole argument of, you know, we're taking the word back's kind of dumb. It's like, why would you even want to hear it? It's just getting to this point where everyone's going to be offended by something. You know, I'm from Illinois, and we have Chief Illini Weck, or had Chief Illini Weck for the University of Illinois' mascot. And it got banned by the NCAA. But what about Florida State? They have the Seminole, and their character comes out throwing a flaming spear into the football field. Yet that's okay, I guess. I don't know. It's getting to this point where I don't know what to think anymore when it comes to this stuff. And I know I'm rambling on here. Please forgive me. I do have a show. I have notes here in my hand. But it's getting to this point where can't we all just be cool? You know, people are going to say dumb stuff all the time. I mean, it was like Facebook and Twitter and all that was made for people to say stupid shit. And quite frankly, it is. But when is it going to stop? I mean, yes, apparently the person that went after James Gunn's going after other people now, like Patton Oswalt and somebody else. They want their heads. You know, because how dare you, you know, fire our person. We'll fire your people. Make it stop. Especially when it comes to entertainment. Can we just have fun again? While I am all for cleaning up people doing horrible shit in Hollywood, especially when it comes to, you know, casting couch shit and things like that, I understand that. Now all of a sudden it's we want everybody's head. It gets political and we want everyone's head. There's got to be a line, man. There's got to be a line to this. I like coming on this show and talking about interesting entertainment news. You know, I've got some fun stuff to talk about today, and I was planning on, like I said, talking about James Gunn. And this is the reason I didn't want to do it. I've been recording for about 9 minutes now, and this is all I've talked about. I just want to have fun again, man. And this is frustrating. It's so damn frustrating that a lot of the news is just about so-and-so said this, so-and-so said that, so-and-so hates this person, so-and-so hates that person. Again, yeah, a cleanup needed to happen in Hollywood, but like I said, it's going to get to a point where, you know what, I'm going to put this out there. If you're breathing, I'm offended. How's that? No one can breathe now because I'm offended. You know what? I'm offended by food too. So you can't eat. I'm offended. See what I'm getting at? Again, you know, I'm stopping here. If people want to say stupid shit, they should be allowed to say stupid shit. And that's it. If you're hurt by it, don't listen to them. Move on. Do something fun. Do something creative. Can we just go back to having a good time? You know what? This podcast, I'm going back to having a good time. I want to have a good time today. I want to crack some jokes. Hopefully I don't offend anybody. I'm going to talk about entertainment news. I got some cool stuff to talk about. Some cool stuff from Comic-Con. I got some What is DC Doing today. I'm going to talk about the Comic-Con trailers. I'm going to talk about the return of Star Wars: The Clone Wars. I want to talk about Venom. I want to talk about Iron Fist. I want to talk about Mission Impossible. I don't want to talk about this stupid crap anymore. People being offended and whining and crying that somebody said something. You know what? Yeah, you know what? The stuff he was talking about ain't funny. It ain't funny. But you know what? Everyone says stupid shit. And I'm sure the person that, I can't remember the idiot's name, that went searching to try to string somebody up, I'm willing to bet he said stupid shit too. He better clean out his Twitter. I ain't gonna be the one searching for it. I got more fun stuff to talk about, more fun stuff, more fun discussions to have. I'm through with this shit. That's it. I'm done. Let's talk about some fun stuff, can we? I want to get out of this funk. I want to talk about some fun stuff. All right. Now that I've got that out of the way, thank you so much for letting me vent, because it's Thursday and I've had a long week and I needed to vent. So I appreciate you guys listening. Let's start with what's probably becoming a regular subject or a regular segment here on the show. What is DC doing? Again, we're going to be talking about the Joker movie, because man, there's so much going on. As I said last week, this is the movie that just won't be stopped. While none of these casting choices are official, there have been a few actors that have been approached for roles in the movie Joker. Being that this movie is supposed to begin shooting in September, the rush is really no real surprise. And here's just some of the names that have been coming up. Deadpool 2 Zazie Beetz, who played Domino in the movie, is in talks to play a single mother that catches the interest of our very own future clown, Prince of Crime. Robert De Niro is in talks to join the movie as well. I have to admit that when I first heard the news of his possible involvement, I hoped that maybe he was going to play famed Gotham City crime lord Carmine Falcone, but this is not the case. If he signs on, he'll be playing a talk show host that is somehow instrumental in the creation of the Joker. If I had to guess, I imagine he will have the future Joker on his Johnny Carson-like talk show to perform stand-up. And of course, his act won't go very well, and De Niro's character will be partially to blame, at least by the standards of our future Man Who Laughs. Frances Conroy, who's best known for her work on 6 Feet Under and American Horror Story, is in talks to play the Joker's mother. I can't wait to hear more from this one. I really do hope my Batman theory from last week comes true. If you want to hear that, listen to last week's program. I think the way I brought up the way they should do Batman, kind of cool. But as I stated last week, this whole thing just got me intrigued. Next story. What is DC doing? Is Aquaman finally going to wear his iconic costume? In the trailer for Aquaman that showed at San Diego Comic-Con, and is now on YouTube, there are no no scenes where Jason Momoa can be seen wearing the orange and green threads, but those in Hall H got to see what the rest of us haven't. In a sneak peek, for those in attendance, they got to see footage of him in the costume. When asked about it, Momoa had this to say, quote, "It was pretty amazing to see director James Wan's face when I put it on. It's his dream come true too, so it was an amazing moment." Momoa compares the costume to a classic car. He said, quote, "I feel like a 59 Cadillac, like an Eldorado. Got the wings on the side, a little flare off the calf, and my 9-pack, which I really don't have." The movie's director, James Wan, was asked about it, and he said that they tried to keep the reveal a secret as long as they could. When asked about how the movie would go on, Wan did say, quote, "The story is basically Aquaman goes through his hero's journey to finally become the classic Aquaman as we know him." Another actor in the movie gets to step up in a classic costume. And I hope I pronounce his name right. Yahya Abdul Mateen, the second, who is playing Aquaman's arch nemesis Black Manta, gets to put on a pretty classic, comic accurate outfit. He said, quote, "The fans, they nagged me for over a year. Tell us what it's going to look like. So I'm glad I can finally share that excitement with them now." While I wasn't overly impressed with the Aquaman trailer, I did like the Black Manta costume. I honestly thought that they would try to make the helmet smaller or try to update it in stupid ways, but no, it's the way it's supposed to be in its big helmeted laser blast shooting glory. While I, again, can't say I'm overly excited for Aquaman, I am looking forward to seeing it and hope it turns out to be a great superhero movie. I'm hoping that what they're showing us isn't even a piece of what this movie is. What is DC doing? It seems that every week we are getting the newest news about the upcoming Batman movie. I don't talk about it every week because a lot of it doesn't really seem credible. But this week I decided to throw some of the rumors out there. And remember, as of right now, these are just rumors. The first one is that Matt Reeves' the Batman, will be inspired by Frank Miller's Batman Year One. First, at least it's not being inspired by Frank Miller's other creation, All-Star Batman and Robin. And second, being that we already had Batman Begins, and we already had Batman Year One, the cartoon, and Batman Mask of the Phantasm had aspects of Batman Year One, do we really need another origin / early career Batman movie? As for the movie's villains, many are saying that the Penguin will be one of them, but not the main antagonist. If he is involved, Josh Gad seems very interested in the role, as he has spent the past few months campaigning for it. Honestly, I think he has what it takes to play the role. I'd like to see him play something a bit more sinister, given that most of his roles usually go the comedic route. One group of rumored villains has apparently been denied to be involved, though, which is the Court of Owls. As for actors that are being looked at to play younger Batman, first it was Jake Gyllenhaal, but that unfortunately isn't going to happen. The rumor is that the movie's director and Warner Brothers took a look at Jack Houston for the role. Houston is probably best known as the lead in the latest version of Ben-Hur. While he was being looked at, apparently the movie's director passed on him because they were going to go with an even younger Batman. While he has been passed on for Batman, the studio is supposedly very high on him and may cast him in another role instead, with everyone's best guess being the role of Harvey Dent. When it comes to this, if they're going to go in this direction, I feel like they're taking too big of a step backwards. Now, I'm sure you'll say something along the lines of, but Gino, you like the idea of the Joker origin story, why not this? Well, I like the uncertainty of the Joker movie. I like that this movie could be the Joker making up his history the way he did in The Killing Joke. I like that it seems to be more of a cerebral movie than other comic book based movies. The Batman seems like it's going to be a retread of movies that we've already seen before, for better or worse. It's like when The Amazing Spider-Man tried to put their own spin on the character's origin story. We've seen Batman's origin multiple times. We've seen his early career multiple times. We know the character. Just give us new stories, with or without Ben Affleck. Okay, so that's the end of what's DC doing, technically, even though we've got some stuff here in the next segment. I want to talk a little bit about the Comic-Con trailers, at least the ones that I checked out, the ones I had interest in. Basically, I want to talk about, okay, first of all, what worked for me? Which ones worked? The first one that worked for me, I think the one I'm most excited about is Glass, the continuation of Unbreakable and Split from M. Night Shyamalan. I can't believe I'm saying I'm excited for an M. Night Shyamalan movie. It's been a long time. Seeing the characters back was a real treat. Having people question whether or not the characters really have powers or if they're just crazy is kind of a nice twist, because you just don't know which way they're going to go. And it just feels like, and the same reasons I was excited for the Joker movie, or I'm excited for the Joker movie, it feels like it's going to be a more cerebral superhero movie, like Unbreakable was. Unbreakable, I didn't know anything about that movie going in other than, hey, Bruce Willis survived a train crash. And then all of a sudden it's like talking superheroes and stuff. You know, my mind was blown at the time. So I'm looking forward to more of a thinking man superhero movie, and I'm thinking that this one's going to be it. The next trailer I was excited for was Shazam. It felt like the superhero version of Tom Hanks's Big. It has a lighter feel that the DCEU desperately needs right now. Some have said they think the costume looks a little silly, but I think that the costume will mirror the mind of the child wearing it. This is how I think Billy Batson will imagine himself as a superhero, and the magic will make it a reality. Almost a little cartoonish. I think when this character finally joins the others, when DC feels confident that they can bring them together again anyway, Shazam will be sort of the Ant-Man of the group, the comic relief, the blindly optimistic hero, and of course the fanboy of the Justice League. I think him and the Flash will get along nicely, so that would be kind of fun. Disenchantment was another one I was kind of excited for. Simply put, it looks to do to fantasy stories what Futurama did for sci-fi, so I'm down for that. I was excited for the Clone Wars, and we'll talk about that one more in a bit. Which ones didn't work for me though? Now keep in mind, I didn't think that most of these were bad trailers per se, but they just didn't really offer me anything that made me go, wow, I can't wait to see this. First one was Aquaman. As I mentioned earlier, while I did like some of the things in the trailer, such as the way Black Manta looked in the costume, the rest of the trailer just didn't show me anything I didn't already expect. That being said, I do want this movie to work. While I would have rather had Jason Momoa play Lobo, if he's going to be in the DCEU, I don't mind him as Aquaman. Unlike what they seem to be doing with Batman, I don't want to see them start over with this character again. And granted, I don't want to see him do that with Batman either. The actors they picked for most of the roles in the DCEU, or whatever it will end up being called, are pretty good. There have been a few missteps, of course. Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor, for example. But it wasn't the actors that made most of the recent DC movies not work. It was the rushed stories, the bland plots, and the terrible CG that are, and that's a few of the different reasons why. I want to see DC get their footing, or in the case of this movie, get afloat when it comes to their movie's universe. Another one I wasn't real excited about was Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald. In the simplest terms, this one just gave me nothing that I didn't already expect. I'm not really a Potterhead like a lot of the movie's fans, but so I'm really not. It's not really at the top of my excitement list. I did really enjoy the characters of Jacob and Queenie in the first movie. I liked them better than the main characters. So I'm hoping that they get a lot more focus in this movie coming out. They were way more interesting than the other two. The next one that really didn't excite me that much, but I'm hoping really, really proves me wrong, especially after the first one, is Godzilla King of the Monsters. In this trailer, I feel like they are trying to play catch up to other movie universes as well. Let's just cram all the monsters in this one is what this trailer says to me. That being said, if you can stand up to Kong Skull Island, not be the boring mess that the first movie was, and as a wise character from that movie said, let them fight, it might be good. Lastly, the one that really did nothing for me was for the newest season of The Walking Dead. So I gave up on this show after the last season. Wait, let me rephrase that. I gave up on the show a long time ago mentally, but physically I gave up on it after last season. The trailer really did nothing for me to make me feel like I'd be missing anything if I didn't tune in this season. Will I go back and watch it when it finally gets canceled? Maybe. Just so I can watch it crash and burn. But I'm not going to watch it for the hope that it might get better anymore. Now, one of the trailers I was really excited about, or announcements I was really excited about, was the return of Star Wars, the Clone Wars cartoon. One of the bigger announcements to come out of San Diego Comic-Con was that of the Star Wars Clone Wars cartoon returning. But it's not coming back to the Cartoon Network or Netflix. The kicker is, and honestly this really came as no surprise to me, it will be a part of Disney's new streaming service that is set to debut at an unknown date. It's presumed to be sometime in 2019. The Clone Wars ran for 5 seasons before being moved to Netflix for the 6th, and at the time, final season. While I enjoyed parts of that 6th season, I felt the story was rushed, and certain plot elements felt crammed in because they knew that they wouldn't be able to tell the complete story that they wanted to tell. I feel that the inclusion of characters like Captain Rex and Ahsoka Tano in Star Wars Rebels might have helped in bringing the show back. Those two characters made a pretty big impact on Rebels, and with their stories feeling a bit incomplete on Clone Wars, I feel a pretty big injustice is going to be undone here. Just from the trailer, it seems that a lot of the voice cast will be coming back. Along with the main characters, I look forward to seeing what they're going to do with characters such as Maul, Cad Bane, and others. When the show and Disney streaming service finally happens, there will be 12 all-new episodes. There's been no announcement if this is only going to be for one season or if the Clone Wars will continue on, writing even more history in between episodes 2 and 3. Now we're going to talk about Venom, a movie that I'm excited for, but boy does it scare me. There's been some information about Tom Hardy's Venom movie trickling out here and there, such as when he talked about why he chose the character. He said, quote, "My son is a massive Venom fan, and he was a strong influence on why I should play Venom specifically. I wanted to do something my son could watch." He said, noting he's often aggressive and violent in his movies. Quote, "So I did something where I bite people's heads off." There was some pretty good information about the movie announced at San Diego Comic-Con as well. In Hall H, some footage from the movie was shown which revealed that Venom would be facing off against another symbiote. This symbiote was later identified as Riot by the movie's director, Ruben Fleischer. It's a symbiote who can transfer to other people, so you never know who it will be in the film. Another villain that has been rumored, at the very least, is rumored to appear or at least be teased in the movie is Carnage. Woody Harrelson's character has yet to be named, and he stated that he isn't in very much of Venom, but he might be returning for future films. I'm pretty certain that he's going to be playing Cletus Cassidy, will be stopped by Venom during the movie, and will be given or steal the Carnage symbiote at the end of the movie or during or after the credits. I'll just put it this way. You don't get Woody Harrelson for a bit part. Plus, he has history working with Fleischer on Zombieland. I guess what I'm saying is I think they got plans for the guy. Another thing that people have been wondering about is would Venom have the spider logo on his costume? A while ago, I talked about Hardy releasing an image that featured a skull and crossbones, in which I said that this would probably be what they used for the costume's logo, since, no Spider-Man connection. While they haven't confirmed this yet, they did confirm that the costume would not have the Spider-Man symbol. Or the Spider-Man Venom suit symbol, I guess I should say. Fleischer said, quote, "If you look at the comics in Venom, there's just elements of white within the suit. Because our character does not originate from Spider-Man, it makes no sense to put a spider on his chest. We tried to be as accurate as we possibly could, even though some people feel it's inaccurate, but there is a lot of white, and we wanted to give him a distinctive pattern. If you have an all-black character, especially in night scenes, he just kind of disappears. Since we couldn't use the Spider-Man symbol, we wanted to give him another graphic element, and those veins that kind of form a shape on his chest was an original idea that we just thought looked really cool." Yeah, I'm going to go with that skull logo. Next thing I want to talk about is Netflix's Iron Fist Season 2. So, did you know that Iron Fist will be returning on September 7th? Yeah, that one just came out of nowhere, huh? At their panel at San Diego Comic-Con, they showed off some new clips, as well as announced that the new season will hopefully have new and improved fight scenes. Clayton Barber, the fight coordinator from Black Panther, has been hired to create all of the show's stunts. My advice: more glowing fist stuff. We know that Colleen Wing and Misty Knight will be involved in the show as well, but that's no real surprise, given the crossovers that those two have been involved in so far. Danny's former friend Davos will return and probably become Steel Serpent. Danny's got to have somebody to fight, right? There's no word if Luke Cage or any other characters from the other Netflix shows will be showing up in this season. Hopefully Danny will call out Luke for the BS that he pulled at the end of Luke Cage Season 2. Crap, I still need to review that. And Jessica Jones Season 2, huh? I am going to be trying to rewatch them next week and hopefully be getting those reviews soon. I've been trying to find a smarter way to review TV seasons for the ones that I do watch. Anyway, one villain that we do know is coming is Typhoid Mary, played by Alice Eve. I'm pretty curious to see how they'll go with the character. Hopefully they'll go all out. Telekinetic powers, multiple personalities, and all of it. Well, I didn't really dig the first season. Danny's appearance in both The Defenders and in the latest season of Luke Cage made me want to see more of the character. Here's hoping that they can improve on that first season. The next story I want to talk about is some things involving Mission Impossible. Can we talk about a powerful force in the universe? Something so powerful that it can even do, it can almost do anything. Now, you'd be thinking that I'd be referring to the Infinity Gauntlet or something like that, but no. I'm referring to something that seems even more powerful than that. The powerful object I am referring to, the power of Henry Cavill's mustache. The upper lip super soup strainer that sunk a superhero franchise. We've talked about the stink that Warner Brothers raised when they said that Paramount refused to help them by letting Cavill shave off his magnificent mustache. Well, it turns out that Paramount had two good but very simple reasons not to help: money and time. Mission Impossible's director, Christopher McQuarrie, said that he was willing to halt production on the movie so Henry Cavill could shave and do reshoots for Justice League. Warner Brothers, the deal was Warner Brothers would have to pay Paramount $3 million, which would have been the cost of putting Cavill's mustache back on through CGI for Fallout. However, he said Paramount Pictures stepped in and did not let Cavill go through with it. They stated that Fallout had a release date, so of course it was a no in halting the movie's production. So you see, money and time. The funny thing is, they could have ended up doing it anyway because of this next detail. Because Tom Cruise likes to do a lot of his own stunts, his on-set ankle injury put the movie on an 8-week hiatus and upped the movie's budget to roughly around $250 million. Granted, Cruise's insurance dropped it to around $180 million, but still. Granted, I have a feeling that this movie will do well enough to more than make up for the cost. I'm about to find out in about 5 hours when I go see it tonight. While these next two stories don't involve Henry Cavill's mustache, they do involve Henry Cavill. Cavill said that he'd love to work with Tom Cruise again after sharing screen time with him in Mission Impossible. And he has just the franchise, the DCEU. There have been some rumors swirling around for a while now that Cruise was being eyed to play Hal Jordan, aka Green Lantern, but nothing concrete has been reported, which why I've never said anything on the show. I'd rather give you the concrete information and stay away from the rumors. Then again, sometimes rumors are too fun. Cavill has indicated he would be more than happy to play the Man of Steel opposite Cruise as Hal Jordan or any other DC character in a film. While for the longest time, Cruise didn't seem interested in playing a character in a DC movie, he has seemed to come a little more around to the idea as of late. He said, quote, "There's always another mountain in anything. I'll never say no if I find something that's interesting, and I think an audience would like to see it, and they're going to be entertained by it, and I feel like I can contribute something." So what do you think? Would Cruise make a good Green Lantern? Would he be better as a different character, or should he just stay away? I'm not sure what I think of him being Hal Jordan, but I can say that I'm not totally opposed to the idea because I know what he can do in these action movies, so it would make me curious at the very least. This last Cavill-related story is something that I think I'd be pretty interested in seeing. Cavill has stated that he is very interested in another big franchise in which the main character slot is about to open up after one more movie, the 007 franchise. When asked if he would be interested in taking over the role as one of the world's most famous super spies, he had this to say, quote, "I would love to do it, of course. I think Bond would be a really fun role. It's British, it's cool. I think that now that I have my Mission Impossible badge, we can do real stunts and really amp it up as well. Not to say that they weren't doing real stunts. I'm just saying it would be fun for me to actually take what I've learned on this and carry it through to a movie like Bond. I'd love to play a Brit. I don't get to play a Brit very often. So yes, I would love the opportunity, and if they were to ask, I would say yes. So what do you think of this idea? Personally, I'd totally be down for it. I loved Cavill as a spy in Man from U.N.C.L.E., and I think he would be pretty great as Bond as well. He can, as you've seen in the trailer for Mission Impossible, he can do the brutal action. Plus, I mean, he's a suave dude, suave-looking guy. I mean, he could pull off the suave part. Daniel Craig, rugged, good-looking guy, but he's not going to be the suave Bond. I think Cavill could actually pull both of them off. Now on to quick hits. HBO has made two big announcements this week. The first one is that the final season of Game of Thrones will be airing in the first half of 2019. So, knowing that is better than nothing, I guess. The other announcement is something that I won't even believe it if I see it, I think. Is that a Deadwood movie has officially been greenlit by HBO. HBO programming president Casey Bloys had this to say about it. Quote, all of these people worked hard to get this together. It's been a logistics nightmare getting all the cast member schedules together, but we are there. It is greenlit. While they plan on shooting in October for a spring 2019 air date, nothing is set in stone. In San Diego's Gaslamp Quarter during Comic-Con, a pop-up Taco Bell in place of the Greystone Prime Steakhouse and Seafood Restaurant was there like it was the only one to survive the franchise wars. In honor of Demolition Man's 25th anniversary, Taco Bell offered people the chance to experience just how elegant Taco Bell will be in the future, because every restaurant has Taco Bell. Servers were dressed in the same costumes from the movie, and even the bathroom sported the 3 seashells. I'm not sure if they finally explained how to use the damn things, though, but they were there. Jude Law apparently won't confirm or deny that he is playing Mar-Vell in Captain Marvel. If he's not, I think I'll be pretty disappointed. We found out this week that we should probably be glad that Joss Whedon bowed out when he did from the Marvel franchise. Why? He said that he didn't know what to do with Thanos. He said, quote, honestly, I kind of hung Thanos out to dry. I love Thanos. I love his apocalyptic vision, his love affair with death. I love his power, but I didn't really understand it. He's had a lot of power, he's had a lot of power, and he was cool in the comics, and I'm like, Thanos is the ultimate Marvel villain. And then I was like, I don't actually know what I would do with Thanos. Being that Thanos was freaking amazing in Infinity War, yeah, I'm glad that he left when he did too. I'm not bashing him or anything. I'm just glad that he knew when it was time to give someone else a go and not just take it just to do it and then ruin a character. I think it was a smart move by him. Sony has confirmed some of the Spider-Men that will be appearing in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. We talked about one of them last week. Along with Miles Morales and Peter Parker, we will also be getting Gwen Stacy, aka Spider-Gwen, Spider-Man Noir, that was Nick Cage's role that we talked about, Penny Parker, and my favorite of this group, Spider-Ham. Yes, that's right, mother effing Spider-Ham. I am more excited about this movie now more than ever. Well, I'm not ready to talk about James Gunn yet. I do want to bring this up. If Disney doesn't end up bringing him back to direct the next Guardians movie, the fans have already chosen who they think should replace him. Thor Ragnarok director Taika Waititi seems to be the choice of the fandom to take over the franchise and characters that Gunn helped turn into household names. Well, I really like this replacement. If this is what they're going to do, I have a bit of advice for you, Mr. Waititi. Check your social media. Ryan Reynolds said during the Deadpool panel at San Diego Comic-Con that he'd like to explore Deadpool's sexuality in future movies. He said, quote, I certainly think that this universe needs to represent and reflect the world in very real ways. The great thing about Deadpool is that we're allowed to do things that other superhero movies don't necessarily get to do. It's something that I'd love to see more of, certainly through Wade, certainly through this universe, because it's something that we're building out more. Jason Momoa revealed that not only did he audition for a role in Guardians of the Galaxy, but he also auditioned for an unspecified role in one of the Russo brothers Marvel movies. He said, quote, "I met the Russo brothers, who are amazing. It was one of the best meetings I've ever had. I was going to do something with them, which unfortunately didn't work out. It was going to be a villain, I think. People always want to hire me to play a villain, you know? I did an audition for Guardians of the Galaxy, which was super cool. I got to audition with Chris Pratt, who's just a legend and a gentleman. That didn't work out. He also revealed that Aquaman wasn't the only DC role that he was up for. He said that he was up for, get this, Batman as well. Quote, I almost didn't go to the audition because I was like, this is bullshit. I'm not a white guy. I ain't playing Batman. Even if I do, I don't even want to. It's like an American playing James Bond, you know? I almost didn't do it. I thought for sure I was going to be playing DC Comics villain or anti-hero, depending on how you look at him, Lobo or something. See? See? The only people I knew they were casting for were Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. Who the hell am I going to play? So in the meeting, I just played it as if Batman had died in an alley and some thug picked up a suit and put it on. I just played him as a smartass, jaded and sarcastic, and that's when Zach was like, I have an idea. And the rest was history. So again, hopefully Aquaman does good. Comcast has officially dropped out of its bid for the Fox assets, focusing now on the Sky Channel, whatever the hell that is. Disney CEO Bob Iger said this in a statement, quote, "Our incredible enthusiasm for this acquisition and the value it will create has continued to grow as we've come to know 21st Century Fox's stellar array of talent and assets. We're extremely pleased with today's news, and our focus now is on completing the regulatory process and ultimately moving towards integrating our businesses." Or in the simplest terms, judging. There are now 6 movies in the works about the Thai cave rescue. Moving on. Jennifer Hudson, Taylor Swift, James Corden, and Ian McKellen have all have joined the cast of the movie adaptation of the Broadway hit play Cats. It will be directed by Tom Hooper, who also directed the movie version of another little-known stage show, Les Mis. And lastly, hey, back to Joss Whedon. Whedon is set to produce a reboot of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which of course is going to get those talks of Firefly coming started again. Great. That's going to be in the quick hits. I made a decision over this week. It wasn't one that I liked, but I'm doing it anyway because I think this will work better, because I want to help more people. I'm going to be doing a video soon about, instead of doing a small YouTuber spotlight here on the show. What I want people to do when they watch this video, it's going to be a video where you can post your links in the comments, but it's going to be just specified towards being something to help people spread their smaller channels. I'm going to try to cap it around 2,000, but I'm not going to argue if someone puts a channel with like 3,000 on there. Something like that. I want to help people, spread the word of their channels, but I think it's going to be more effective not being on this show. I think it's going to be more effective, especially for ones that I can see, for them to, because not everyone listens to this program. But if I do just a short video saying, hey, I want to help small YouTubers, it might spread a little bit. Part of me jokingly said, you know what, I should attach the words, ranked, exposed, what other buzzwords can you throw in their top 10? I thought about doing that. Just throw those in the words where, the search words, throwing all those words in there and seeing how many hits it would get. God, I hate those words. But no, I want to do this video because I want to help smaller YouTubers get their channels out there. On this program, I was looking for stuff about movies, TV, wrestling, comedy. But if you have a small channel where you do things that I don't necessarily stuff that I wouldn't watch. What this video is going to be for everybody that has a smaller channel that wants to get it out there. So I felt on this program, the audience wouldn't want to hear about makeup channels or whatever, you know what I mean? But for this video, I'm cool with any smaller channel putting their link in the description below. So look for that soon on my channel. I'm going to be doing a smaller YouTuber spotlight video that will hopefully do a better job at spreading the word of smaller channels than this program would. I want to give an update on another Cinema Snob movie, Brad Jones' A Cinema Snob sequel that he's trying to get funded. As of the taping of this podcast, he's at about 62% funding with 12 days left. He's going to be doing another live stream this Saturday, and it's not just going to be a 12-hour live stream. He's going to be going until the movie is funded. I'm going to be there for part of it. I'm not sure what times yet. It starts at 10 a.m. Central Time and ends whenever it ends, whether it be that day or hopefully that day for him, for his sanity. I hope he can get it funded. But yeah, I'm going to be there. I'm going to try to get there around 1 p.m. Central Time, but I can't guarantee that. I'm going to be there for a few hours. This weekend's just crazy busy. I can't be there. I wish I could be there the whole time, but I can't to help out. But and if he's still going on Sunday in the late afternoon, I'm going to go back if he needs me. But make sure to tune in Saturday because I'm going to be bringing some Brad Tries items. On his last live stream, he had some sodas and he was a bit disappointed in them because they had funny names, but they just tasted like fruit and stuff like that. I'm bringing 8 items that I've picked up and ordered. And I'm just going to say that 6 of them probably won't be too nice. 2 of them might be okay. 2 of them I'm looking forward to trying some of them. But I know there's 6 of them that aren't going to go too well. And I got one, the last one I'm going to do. It's going to be bad. I don't think anyone's going to like it. I definitely know Brad's not going to like it. But hey, if you want to see it, tune in. Like I said, I'm bringing 8 items. 2 of them will probably be kind of good. The rest of them, most of them are probably not going to be, but you never know. But one of them is definitely going to be bad. So if you want to see Brad try some, if you want to see me bring the pain, or at least the discomfort, definitely check out his live stream. Again, I'm going to try to be on the live stream. I'm going to try to be there around 1 p.m. Central Time, and I'll probably be there till about 4 p.m. Central Time. It's about all the time I can do on Saturday. But if you want to check out the live stream, again, it's this Saturday starting at 10 a.m. I will put a link to his channel in the description below. A bit of a channel update. Make sure to watch the channel this weekend. I'll have my review for Mission Impossible Fallout. Plus, you can already check out my review for Teen Titans Go to the Movies. I'm just going to say this. Go see the movie. Even if you don't like Teen Titans Go, the TV show, I think you're going to be surprised by Teen Titans Go to the Movie. Yes, it's got some of the silly stuff, but it's also got a big amount of comic book fan humor that I think you'll really enjoy. Geno's Bad at Games continues. I just finished Chapter 4 of Star Wars The Force Unleashed. I've been having a good time playing it. Had to deal with a little bit of glitches. In-game glitches this last playthrough, so that was kind of fun. I'm going to be, hopefully, again next week, working on a couple new crossing streams, which is my where I review streaming shows on Netflix, whatever streaming service I can get my hands on. I'm gonna try to get to doing both seasons of Luke Cage and Jessica Jones, both their season 2s. And I'm also working on some other show ideas as well. I might be doing some where I look at some different shows that I've wanted to go back and look on from my past, and doing maybe an episode by episode or season reviews. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm trying to find better ways to look at TV shows. I'm trying to see what works best. I mentioned the last few weeks that there's a new playlist on my channel. It's called GB3 Family. That's where you can find the channels of the people that I'm closest to right now. I'm hoping to grow the GB3 Family, but I've got videos from Heisenerd, my buddy Aaron, and his LARPing channel. My Artist Crimson stuff's on there, and plus the GB3 Family playlist has any video that I've ever been involved in on YouTube, at least the ones that I can remember or find that aren't on my channel. I found an older video, as I've mentioned, from Anime St. Louis, where I took part in a mock casting of the Transformers movie, or a Transformers movie. I believe it was can't remember if it was, I think it was part 3. We were joking around, but I can't remember. I haven't watched it in a while. I just luckily found it the other day. I couldn't believe it. So yeah, if you want to see me embarrass myself, watch that video. Also, make sure to follow me on Twitter. And I guess if you want to on Facebook. I'm kind of ignoring Facebook, to be honest. Twitter, I'm doing a lot more stuff on. So you can follow me at the Reel Geno, REELGENO, just like the channel. That's where you get the latest updates from me and from any partnerships of anything I'm doing, or just any news I'm doing. I'm finding Twitter is a lot easier to use and more user-friendly than Facebook. And by the way, Mark Zuckerberg, I don't feel sad for you for losing all that money. I also want to draw your attention to a few things. The GB3 channel is kind of in the planning stage. It's hard for Bill and I to get together and do things. We're both family guys, so I mean, there's just a lot going on, life, man. But I do want to draw your attention to his channel, though. He's started playing through Undertale, which I've seen some playthroughs of that game, and not something I'd want to play myself, but it's right up his alley. He loves games like that, that are kind of like Earthbound. Also, Bill and I are getting back together next week, on Monday around 8 p.m. ish Central Time. We're going to be playing we were going to play the original, the Nintendo version, but the remake of Shadowgate went on big time sale on Steam. So we're going to be playing the remake of Shadowgate over on his channel. Again, that's Monday around 8 p.m. ish Central Time. So make sure to check that out. That's going to be all for the program this week, guys. Again, thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much for allowing me to rant at the beginning of this program. Again, I told myself I didn't want this program to be a gossip program. I just wanted to bring fun stories and have fun conversations, and this whole thing that's going on is just a lot of finger pointing, a lot of he said, she said, or he said, or she said, she said, or whatever. I want to get this stuff to being fun again. We'll ever get there? I don't know. Will it ever get to a point where we can't even breathe because it'll offend somebody? I don't know. But, we can hope, right? And I'm going to try to keep this program as fun as possible. It's hard not to talk about that stuff some of the times, because it's just, that's what the world is now. It's everyone wants to get everyone fired, and everyone wants to bring down everyone. And Lord knows, maybe I've said something during this program that has offended somebody, and they'll ask for my head after they get done listening to it. Take down that little YouTuber. I don't know, man. It's just, I hate seeing this platform like this. I hate seeing social media like this, even though That's what this world is now. At least that's what it seems to be. Is everyone wants everyone's head, and everyone wants to bring everyone down, and I just, whenever I go on Twitter, there's been many a times I've wanted to make comments on Twitter. Somebody made a comment to me on YouTube the other day on, I can't even remember what video it was on, but they made a comment, and I'm not going to call them out. But they made a comment about, it's something I didn't like. It was trying to tell me that they didn't like the way I did my videos, and I should do it like somebody, like a certain somebody else. And it's like, well, I don't want to be a certain somebody else. I just want to do what I do. I'm not doing this, as a career. I'm just doing this to do it. I'm doing it because I'm having a good time, and I just want to keep it that way. And then somebody commented and said they liked what I did, and it's like, you know what? I'm glad, because if you like what I do, cool. I'm glad you're here. If you don't like what I do, that's fine too. It's your prerogative, but it doesn't mean I have to change. If I'm gonna change things, I want to change things for the better, not just because, well, this person doesn't like it, or that person doesn't like it, or you should do it this way, or you should do it that way. I'm just gonna do what I do, man, and I'm gonna continue to do it. And if there's people that are out there that like listening to it, God bless you, or whatever bless you, whatever you believe in. I'm just happy that there are people out there that actually want to listen to this, that like listening to my ideas, that like hearing the news stories, that like hearing my reviews, or watching me play games badly. I just want to have a good time, man, and I'm tired of everything being, so mean-spirited. And I mean, the world's bad enough, man, and this is, and we just got to turn everything bad, apparently. And I just get tired of seeing it, and tired of hearing it, and tired of reading it. So anyway, that's all I got. I'm done ranting for today. I've got to get ready. I'm gonna go see. They have a 4 p.m. showing, preview night for Teen Titans Go to the Movies. I'm gonna go see it again because I loved it. And then I'm excited because right after I get to go see the new Mission Impossible, which I'm hearing is awesome. So I'm really looking forward to that. So anyway, you guys, until next time, this will be all for Get on the Mic. If you like what you've heard here, please subscribe to the Reel Geno YouTube channel. Like this video, and if you have a comment about anything, feel free to comment in the comment section below. Till next time, I am your host, the Reel Geno Reynolds. Peace.